Regardless of whether you sweep the ball, attack from triple threat, or beat your man off the dribble, once you've taken that first dribble, there are decisions to be made in the mid-range. The mid-range is the area between your first step from your pivot and finishing at the goal. To be effective, you must continue to read your defender while reading help defenders at the same time. But we'll discuss how to score against help defenders in Chapter 6 on finishing. For now, let's dive into the hop, hop back, and pull-up jumper, your weapons in the mid-range. If you don't make it to the goal, you'll probably shoot a pull-up jumper. But before we look at the defensive reads that dictate when you should use the pull-up jumper, we need to examine its footwork. There's always been a lot of discussion about whether you should shoot from a 1-2 or a 2-foot hop. Well, that's really not the question, because there are advantages to both. So the real question is when to use each one. Let's get into it by first examining the 1-2. The primary advantage of the 1-2 is that it's the quickest way to shoot off the dribble. Starting our clock, the moment the ball hits the ground on the last dribble, and ending when the ball is released, let's compare the amount of time it takes for a player to shoot from a 1-2 versus a hop. In basketball, that's a significant amount of time, enough time for a retreating defender to recover and block the shot. Now, I can't make you physically quicker, but I can teach you to be efficient, which will make shooting the 1-2 even quicker. When you shoot off the dribble going to your strong hand, don't catch the ball off the dribble and then set it and then shoot. That's too slow. Instead, push the dribble down a little harder than normal and ride it up with your shooting hand. Your offhand simply moves to the side of the ball and assists the upward motion of the shot. To stop your forward motion and go up straight, the foot opposite the dribble hand must put on the brakes. The foot strikes the ground heel first in front of your head and your knee. The angle of your shin with the ground is greater than 90 degrees when the foot strikes the ground. Notice the angles are the opposite of the techniques to explode from Chapter 2. Now, if you're at an angle to the goal, then point the toe of that foot toward the goal. Your heel puts on the brakes, your toe points the way to the goal. But when you put the dribble down with your non-shooting hand, use that hand as a pick-up and move over hand. Watch as the ball is pushed down. The offhand rides it up, rotates to the side, and moves the ball to the shot pocket. You can get in a lot of reps without taking a shot to increase your ball quickness. And one more thing to consider for those of you who have already mastered the basics of the 1-2. If you start in triple threat and take one dribble before you use the 1-2 pull-up jumper, your quickness and the space you cover will be dependent on whether you use an open step or a cross step. First, let's watch an open step. He takes 3 steps and therefore covers a lot of ground. Now let's watch a player take a cross step. He needs just 2 steps and therefore covers half the ground, but the shot gets off quicker. That's why using a cross step on a 1 dribble pull-up is quicker. There's only 2 steps. Now for the defensive read. Generally speaking, those players who seem to take the most advantage of the 1-2 are the great penetrators. Any movement toward the goal by a great penetrator forces their defender to aggressively retreat to the goal. And that's going to be your defensive read for shooting the 1-2 pull-up. During your first dribble of penetration, look for an aggressive retreat by your defender. He might still be beside you or already be ahead of you, but either way, he's turned to sprint and is out of his defensive stance. The 1-2 allows a shot to be on its way before the defender can change direction and contest your shot. Compare shooting with a 2-foot jump stop in this situation. An extra hop would allow the defender time to recover and block the shot.